Pluto also bolstered by Nuka Genus, so which may or may not be cool. Has anyone studied Pluto? Okay. Any encounters with Pluto? Okay. Encounters. That's a study.
Took classes.
And yeah, 30 minutes is such a small sliver of time to really get into the work. So I'm just going to be offering a sampling and mostly embodied practice and exploration of this work. Some of you I haven't met, some of you I have. So I'd love to begin actually by just going around and sharing your name. If you would like to share your pronoun, you're welcome to. And an element of the land, the earth, the sea, and part of nature that you would like to call into the room, or that you feel is already present here with us in the room. So, start this way.
Sure. Crystal, she, they. I just want to say octopus.
Hi, I'm Shayla. She, her, Aya, and I'm just feeling Flint Hills.
Jamie McRae, she, her, and I'm going to say estuaries.
Eilish Henderson, she, her, water.
I'm sorry.
Water is from Taiwan. She, her, and mountains.
Hello, good morning. Cindy Olga, she, her, Aya. And highly related to my volcanoes.
Rebecca, she, her, forests. Jennifer Mazenko, she, her, hot spring.
Christopher, I'm going to say water.
Carol, she, her, the ocean.
Sheila, the air.
Matt, rose quartz.
Kelvin, I'll say the wind.
Yvonne and calm water.
Kathleen, she, her, and a robin.
Cornelius, he, him, water.
Deborah, she, her, moss.
Sure. Heather, she, her, seashells.
Putting in an element, name and
My name is Devin Joyner, she, her. I'll also say
I'm Joseph, he, him, and I would say canyon with the Grand Canyon.
Joseph, he, him, Mountain Lake.
Rachel Shaver, Rain.
Joyce, she, her, water.
Paul, he, him, water.
Charles Henderson, he, him, fire.
So I invite us all to engage with the element that you called into the space, as well as maybe you can be inspired by what other people To recognize the patterns, one needs to slow down, suspend judgment, and listen with one's whole being. Be comfortable with the silence and wait patiently for the feelings and thoughts to emerge. The challenge is to achieve this in a fast-paced world. I think what's really pertinent about our role as facilitators is space, and I've been thinking a lot about space, how to create space, how to be more spacious. And when we move our bodies, we are in space, but really we are of the space. So, letting go of the limits that the structure we have places upon us. And I invite us through this practice to transcend this vessel and connect with the broader landscape of our collective being in the space together. We are going to begin with a bit of Nuguchi Taiso practice, which is a practice based on the body as a water vessel. For those of you who may not be familiar, we can actually find any space in the room to spread out. And we'll begin just by lying down on your backs, however is most comfortable. And what I really want to emphasize here is obviously we have mass, we have weight, just allowing that weight to sink into the floor, and I specifically opted for this room because we have a wood floor, and so although no matter what surface we are lying on, we are engaged with the land. Perhaps with this particular matter that we are directly in contact with here, the wood beneath us, we can feel even closer to the land. And we live in such a world contrived and manipulated by humans, oftentimes in destruction of the land. So I just encourage rest for a moment, being with oneself. And Noguchi Taiso is founded on the water body. In my work with Mari Osanai, she asks us to rest with a bag, plastic bag filled with water, on us. So even though we don't have plastic bags today, we can imagine that there is water, which many of us already call into the space, floating above us, floating within us, and even in this perhaps perceivable stillness, there is subtle movement happening. going to invite a heaviness in the other limbs. So we're going to continue to rise toward the sky, but inviting release, only engaging what is necessary for you to rise closer to the sky. And it's okay to give a little rock if something is tight or tense. And kind of ask the limb, is it relaxed? Questioning the structure. And once you've risen, just invite you to either lower your gaze or close the eyes for a moment. And just calibrate to this new relationship that we have to gravity, to the earth and the sky, and to one another, the space between us. Although we know we are in this flesh body, we can imagine that our structure's matter is that of allow the eyelids to peel open slightly, keeping the gaze soft. There's a lot of